passion burned, like there's just no question people wouldn't have been ready for that, and they wouldn't have been prepared for the price point and things like that. So we just sort of slowly got used to.
So you guys are going to take a higher end approach, more going for sort of a luxury feel, or I mean, it sounds like large format bottles. Are you going to stay local? I know Prairie, sort of sends their stuff, quite a distance away from their brewery.
We'll certainly have to establish ourselves here, and we know that. We have to make sure we can supply this market. But I think that we definitely have an eye towards larger cities, and at least the ones close by, Chicago and Denver and St. Louis. We have to think about those because as big a beer city as Kansas City is, there are bigger ones, and so we know there's a market already there for those. And so we're definitely thinking about those cities, and we'll see. I guess we'll just have to see where we want to go once we get started.
John Petit did say he can sell every ground we brew. So it's on him.
We're holding into that.
Yes.
John,
I got you, man.
that's not you, man. Well, so one of the interesting things about Cranes, you guys are doing a crowdfunding campaign, I believe on Crowd Brew, right?
Correct.
And so talk to me about that process a little bit. I know we've seen, some breweries do it with varying degrees of success. Some have been, quite successful at the crowdfunding model. What's that process been like?
Steve wrote this up.
I would say that I posted it with a great amount of anxiety, and I was met with some angry responses, and I should have expected them, I guess I did, but we've also had a lot of really positive responses, and I'm really appreciative for that, because it's difficult to ask for money, even if we're not asking it entirely for nothing. We're trying to quickly raise funds for some things that we think are really going to be really important to make sure that we can deliver the quality that I think people are expecting.
Some people, I think, misunderstood. With the money's in the bank to do the brewery, build everything, buy everything that we need. But what we're going to need to do, we have room. We have temperature-controlled storage for over 400 wine and spirit barrels for aging sour beers. And that'll tie up a lot of revenue for a long time, because some of those beers will take months, some of them years. And we also, in order to keep the clean beers clean, there's also some other scientific instruments that we plan to purchase. So the money is to cover some of the costs to build up the inventory in the barrels, as well as some scientific instruments for the yeast lab, so we can make sure that when we clean everything, that there's no bacterial contamination, because we've got about 4,000 square feet that will be filled with Brettanomyces, and we're just assuming keep that out of the clean beers. So that's primarily what the funding is for. And
a piece of it is, I'm sure, marketing, getting the name out there a little bit, and getting some exposure.
well, another thing, we've the past year served beer at about a dozen different beer festivals, and hundreds of people have come up to us and wanted to be involved. But in the process of raising money, the amount of money that would make sense for them to invest would be far too little to have an equity percentage. So this is just a way that other people that have expressed an interest to be involved in the brewery in some way, this way they can have a little bit of a hand in it.
So where are you guys at today? There's, 15, 20 days left, something like that?
$1 million.
Whereabouts are you in terms of dollars raised today?
I believe we're
15,400.
Okay, yeah. Something like that.
And you're shooting for 40 grand?
Right.
So how are you
The
going to get there?
way this system works, that we're using Crowd Brew, everything that people have purchased on the site, they will get, and all the money that has been spent will receive. It's just a tiny bit different in percentage. With Kickstarter, if the entire amount isn't raised, everything goes away.
Right.
So this, people who have purchased barrel staves with their names on it, people have purchased the ability to get the first 3 bottles of the first 4 batches of barrel-aged beers, they'll be done. So everything will be done. If we don't raise all the money, we'll probably won't have 400 barrels filled with sour beer as soon as we would have otherwise.
Well, very exciting that you guys are going through that process. Good luck to you guys raising the rest of the funds, and thanks for sharing your story today.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. We'll have a bunch of microphones up here. So we have one more guest joining us, and then we'll break for everyone to fill up their beers before we have our final talk today. Aaron Ogilvy from Double Shift Brewing. Come on up.
This is the red line for anyone back there. I don't know if that makes a difference. It's not number 2.
Our friends
Doing the AV.
So, Aaron, same questions, my friend. Talk to us about Double Shift.
Starting Double Shift Brewing Company. We're at 18th and Oak in the Crossroads. If you know where Border Brewing Company is, we're right next door to that. We're 5 barrels, and we have a small tap room, seats about 80 people, and we'll be opening July 11th.
How did you guys go through the process of raising money and getting started? What was your approach?
Well, I approached my parents about probably 2 years ago. I mainly asked my dad for advice writing the business plan, and I'm not a business guy. And he was like, well, why don't we just make this a family thing? So, all right. He got some people together that he thought would be interested. I brewed some beer, they tried it, they were in. It took one night to raise all the money we needed, so that was probably the easiest process, which was shocking, but yeah.
Wow. So how much did you put in the business, if you don't mind me asking?
We are right about $350,000.
Okay, so a little bit smaller operation. What's the focus going to be? Here in Kansas City, it seems very local. Are you going to focus on the tap room?
Yeah, we're mainly focusing on tap room sales for probably the first year or so. We want to get our processes down, make sure we like our quality control for the long term. Make sure we have enough beer to supply our tap room and possible distributor in the future. And we're spending a lot of money on our tap room, so make sure people actually come there.
And what's going to set Double Shift apart from some of the other brewers in town, or even some of the breweries that are from out of state, selling their products here?
Right. I think setting apart is a hard thing to do, especially in Kansas City. So you have a place like Boulevard that does a lot of things really well. Center Block does a lot of things really well, and we're somewhat similar in our view of taproom-centric beer. My goal is to brew beer that new craft beer drinkers can be introduced to and enjoy it, while I would say better than craft beer drinkers would still say it's a solid beer, something original and still original.
So more approachable beers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Very cool. And I guess in terms of the branding and just sort of the image that you guys are putting out there, talk to us a little bit about how you came up with Double Shift and what your story is. What are you telling customers when they come by the tap room?
Well, the name Double Shift wasn't the original name for the brewery. One of my investors suggested it to me. I work full-time for a fire department here in Kansas City. I still do that, still plan to do that for a while at least. And so that's kind of where that name came from. And as far as marketing, we don't really have a marketing team per se. We do a lot of social media stuff. That's about it right now. We seem to get a lot of feedback from that. It's easy, cheap, and so yeah, that's basically our plan. As far as other things, like when we originally started, we weren't planning to spend money to create beer logos. I started working with Bandwagon Merchandise to do our brand logo. I like their stuff a lot, so we decided to go forward with that. We did logos for each beer, which I think turned out really well. I think it helps. It helped when we were kind of in that nothing was really happening stage to push out some logos every now and then for people to get excited about. And I think it'll help this little name recognition.
How long has this process been starting up?
I probably started 2 years ago. We incorporated 18 months ago.
So what's your view on Kansas City? I mean, you're about to launch here in a few weeks. You know, this is the first time that you're going to be actually selling a product here, and sort of going head to head with some of the other breweries now. What's your view of the marketplace?
I think, well, again, I think Kansas City is mainly a beer town. I think that's attributed to Boulevard, pretty much 100%. Boulevard didn't start here. I don't think Kansas City would be nearly as beer-centric as it is now. Whenever people say, what kind of beer will you be drinking, they like into a Boulevard beer here. If you say, I'm brewing a white IPA, they're like, well, that's a hoppy wheat, right? So that's like 80 acre. Well, so sure, you would say that. So I think everyone said, well, I mean, obviously Boulevard's king here. I don't want to say, you say head to head. That's not really how I view breweries in general, especially in Kansas City. I've been, as a newbie, several breweries have welcomed me in and showed me how they do their thing. And it's a great community here.
Yeah. There's been, you know, a number of startups that have launched here in the last, 12 to 18 months. I mean, sort of the story around the country. You know, you said you got a lot of help from your friends basically here. What was that like, and what sorts of things did they impart on you as you were starting?
Having a lot of investors that came from corporate backgrounds, when I would say I'm going to go brew with so-and-so brewery, they would tell me that I was crazy, that they weren't actually going to let me see how they did their thing, because why would anyone ever let another company come in and see how their product is made? It took a while to get used to that concept for a lot of people. One person said to me, double your budget and triple your timeline, which is pretty much exactly right on. We expect to open in March, and then we expect to open next weekend, and now our solid date's July, so that's just how life goes, and I mean, our budget's inflated as we go, and it's just, that's the business, I guess.
So I know you are just starting up, and you haven't even put a beer out, but where do you see Double Shift Brewing into the future? What's sort of your goal? What's your vision for the company?
That's a good question. I don't really know if I have a real answer for that. I want it to be something manageable, something that's Kansas City centric. People from here recognize the brand, know the beers. I don't have any brew plans to go more than a couple hundred miles outside of Kansas City at the very most. I don't know. We'll see where the market takes it. That's the plan.
I'll let the market dictate what you do, huh?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Aaron from Double Shift, round of applause. Empty glasses out there. Why don't we break for about 5 or 10 minutes, get a beer at the bar, and we'll come back here and hear from Simon Thorpe, the president of Beautiful Morning USA. Cheers.
Already did. Oh, I know you did.